that was in the 11th minute. Just before that, you would have expected Minnesota to have scored. I mean, Angelo Rodriguez, I think, had a couple close-in opportunities, and it was just, I think you guys used the word like goat rodeo or something.
It was
to
a goat
describe
rodeo.
it.
Well, yeah.
That's what you did.
That's what Tony said.
It's a goat. It was a goat.
Because it was. I mean, you would have expected a ball in the back of the net by that point. But fortunately, Finley got it. So
the whole game was a goat rodeo.
My notes ended at the first half, which means the gin that I was drinking kicked in.
Yeah, I was.
For me, that first half was an entertaining half.
It certainly was. It was wide.
I mean, the whole game was.
It was wide open, and that's. I mean, there's positives to take out. Like I had mentioned before we started getting into the game, is that Minnesota had not scored in 2 previous trips, and so you don't necessarily expect them to score a handful of goals, which they did. I guess there's obviously a negative that's going to come back with that, because in the span of I think 2 or 3 minutes, Dallas quickly took the lead and made it 2-1 at that point. And that was they scored their second in the 32nd minute. But yeah, so that excitement quickly went away.
Yeah, the one thing I don't want us to be doing is playing catch up.
No.
So when they took the lead, and all of a sudden it's okay, we're going to score a second. They're going to score a third. We have to score a third.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, I was like, "This is not the game we want to be playing in Dallas."
It's pretty much over at that point.
I think every time they took, the swings were just crazy. I never expected Minnesota to get a early goal, take the lead. Mm-hmm. You know, your highs are so low, and then as soon as they went behind 2-1, I thought, well, that's it. They can't come back on the road. They're not going to score another goal. And then, of course, Finley actually got the brace early in, I think, the 41st minute, and just a nice goal. Let's see what I had about that. Oh, yeah, the goalkeeper kind of came way off his line on that one, and Finley just kind of chipped it in.
He did.
So, but that was nice, and there you go. You did it again. They tied up the game. But then in the 45th minute, Nick Cannon? I always get that.
Nick Cannon?
Reggie Cannon, sorry.
Yes.
Sorry
Nick
about
Cannon,
that.
the MVP
I knew I was going to make that mistake. Reggie Cannon, he actually scored in the 45th minute to put Dallas back up 3-2 right before halftime. So it's kind of a killer. It's one that it went right through the legs of Minone. I think he could have done better. He would have said he could have done better.
Yes,
but
definitely.
Call it unlucky, call it a mistake, whatever you want. 3-2 going into halftime. And I think my notes, and we'll get on him a little bit later for better reasons, but in my notes I had Hassani Dotson just did not look too good defensively. Well, I think he was surprised would be the word. He was caught off guard several times.
Yeah, I think overall that game wasn't good for our wing, our flanks, I guess.
No.
We got beat on both sides constantly. I saw some other Minnesota podcasts, talking heads, arguing that Dallas doesn't have any offense, and really they have struggled scoring goals.
Yes.
But a player like Barrios, man, that dude's got some wheels.
Yes.
Whether he's contributing or scoring goals is beside the point.
Yeah.
If he can take advantage of his situation and get it, he's dangerous. And
again,
he was the entire game.
We changed up our rotation. So these guys are playing in together for probably the first time in that kind of rotation, and there's going to be mishaps on defense.
Yep.
We have a very strong defense when our top guys play because they talk to each other, they work together.
Yep. And I think Manley has not. I think there's still hope for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's MLS level yet. Dotson has played his best on the right, not on the left.
Yes.
So when you throw him onto the left and you have him deal with a player like Barrios, you have him deal with a player like even Cannon from the back. Mm-hmm. It's just you're setting him up for disaster. Yeah. And he also, if I recall, he hadn't gotten that many minutes prior to that game either.
No.
Because Romain had come back and got kicked out of the squad, basically.
Yeah.
So it was a recipe for disaster.
It was.
And it proved to be so.
So
I think he's really shown his youth, I think, in that game.
Yeah.
He just looked young and confused and kind of baffled a little bit more. And we'll get to his shining moment a little later, but he really gives me a lot of hope.
He does.
I think for our halfbacks, and I think he's got a lot of talent to bring to the table, and I think he's just very young.
Yeah,
he is.
And that
just shows a lot of that.
That's why I wanted to bring up the fact that much to my surprise, the 2019 Super Draft couldn't have worked out too much better for Minnesota, considering that they got Sonny Dotson, who we're talking about, Chase Gasper, and then we haven't seen a lot of St. Clair on the field yet. But I mean, if he's half of what they're expecting, you look at what they got out of that draft. You're talking about two players that are making immediate contributions, or maybe not immediate, but certainly as we go into the second half of the season, they certainly are.
Well, I mean, I think Gasper would have made immediate contributions had he not been injured early on. Hamstring injuries can be a pain in the ass.
But my deal with Gasper is, he gets a little too aggressive sometimes.
He does, and he finally paid for it.
He did.
And we all know my wife's opinion on Chase Gasper.
She loves him.
Oh, yeah.
He loves him.
Oh, careful.
Sorry. Ben obviously probably doesn't know. My wife actually thinks every time she's seen him, she thinks he looks like a douchebag.
Oh.
Like he just kind of
has it look?
Acts,
that
looks.
Sort of,
I think it's he's to me he looks or tries to look confident.
He does.
As a rookie, you kind of have to try to get a swagger. Or something
I think that's a good thing.
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because
my wife is the exact opposite of liking it.
Yeah.
She doesn't like soccer at all.
No.
That was her very initial opinion.
I don't think I like him.
Yeah.
No.
I've heard that before.
It was within the first the first two times she saw him play. It was like he showed up on the screen. She's like, he looks kind of like.
But again, he's a great player. He's showing that, but he's going to have to watch his aggressiveness a little bit. There have been some plays we talked about on this podcast before where it's been in the box, and it's close to being a foul in the box, and he's got to watch himself on that.
Yeah, and so again, Dotson, who rested him before even his goal. He had a fantastic play in the box.
He did. Defensively,
he. I don't even know how the hell he managed to block that.
No.
I mean, he literally just gave up his body, and that had to kill the tailbone.
I'm sure it did.
Because he was like 3 feet off the ground and wiped it out and slammed against the turf.
Yeah.
But, that's another example of how Dotson, I think, plays above what he is. And if he keeps playing like that, and that's not even his position.
No.
He's an 8.
He's an 8.
Really, and he does it. I could see him finding his way to Germany or England, honestly. I mean, if he keeps up this progression.
Yes.
If he keeps his growth, I mean, the sky's the limit for that kid. He's got a lot of talent. I mean, he struggles defensively, but I think that a lot of that's just coaching. I think he just struggles with positioning, and also communication, like we were talking about earlier. Like he doesn't have that natural bond with the other defenders that I think a more playing time will really give him. But he is such a threat when it comes to attack.
Yeah.
That you can't. I don't know how we've kept him off the field for so long.
Yeah.
To be honest, you just got to give him the minutes.
Yeah, and that leads us to the goal.
Yeah, we should talk about
the goal of the week.
The Redeemer. And I mean, it might be the best goal you see all season. I mean, there's been a few nice ones, but the Redeemer, it was beautiful. Fast forward to the 73rd minute is when it happened. But I mean, David, you probably do the best at describing it, but it did start with a long pass from Lawrence Alum, actually, who was credited with the assist.
Yeah, and he took it up the left side, and I was watching him like, shit, he's going to go too deep. He's going to end up crossing it, and he's not going to do anything. And he was smart enough to cut inside. He even had a little bit of a. I'm not a soccer player. I don't know what the term is. lifted his foot over the ball and faked the guy out.
Yeah.
His footwork was incredible because he ended up getting past 3 defenders before he had his chance.
And he took a few steps in, and I was like, oh, what's he going to do with this thing?
Yeah.
And he unleashed it, and I'm like, there's no way it's going in.
Cannon.
And it curved perfect. It bent like Beckham.
Yeah, he bended like that. Yeah.
And it
far
went
corner.
in.
Yeah, beautiful.
And
It was just gorgeous.
Yeah,
That's
and
probably one of the best goals I've seen this season.
yeah.
Honestly, just like the range, the angle, the move beforehand. It was like I've played soccer my entire life, and I've never done anything like that.
You know, I wish I could think of the game, but I was like, we're thinking about top goals for Minnesota United this year. I mean, actually, Dotson might be first and second on that list because there was one earlier in the season. I wish I could think of the game off the top of my head, but I can't.
Yeah, I know what one you're talking about.
But I believe it was from
It was
the
his
other
first
side.
goal.
Yeah, it was.
It was against Philadelphia.
Yeah, that was the long
that's-
strikeout
yeah.
From the other
They
side.
just let him
Yeah.
keep dribbling and dribbling. And
He had
like,
his space.
All right, well, I'm going to
Take it.
shoot then.
Yeah, that's right.
And I love that our players are doing that, even when they're 10 yards wide.
Yeah.
It makes defenses respect the fact that you're going to take a deep shot, and it opens things up a little bit
And
in the box.
Jan is good at that. Jan
Yes.
will take shots from outside.
He'll shoot from the half.
Yeah, he will. And he's got that, like I said, got that knuckle puck kind of ball where you never know where it's going to go.
And I'll wait till wait till we get to last night's game to talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got something about Jan's shot. So I think Dotson. I don't even think we named him man of the match because he had so many goofs ups on defense. But I mean, it was up for goal of the week. It's easily up for goal of the season for Minnesota.
Yeah, it is.
He's got a lot of promise. It's exciting to see, especially since he plays in a 4-2-3-1. He kind of plays in one of those two.
Yep.
And with Ozzy being as old as he is, I think Minnesota's really set with him and Gregush back there. They just need to figure out who's going to be more attacking.
Yeah. Let's finish up this match quick because we have to get to the end of this match.
Yes.
Because there was something important that happened at the end.
Yes.
Okay, so fast forward. So the highs and lows after Dotson tied it up. You get to the 85th minute where Dallas again takes the lead 4-3 late in the game. That's obviously the backbreaker at that point in the game. I kind of put this one on Carter Manley, again, the heavily rotated squad. We haven't seen Carter Manley play, not even this year, but in the course of his short career here with Minnesota. We haven't seen him play a lot. I think he just didn't do well in defending his man, and then Dotson was kind of left to deal with two players on the opposite side. So you wouldn't put it on Dotson on that, just because he had too much to deal with.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe if you want to get technical, you could have said, well, he could have made a better decision, but I wouldn't. I'd say Manley kind of losing his guy. But so that was the backbreaker. Insult to injury, they get Dallas, I should say, gets an added, a stoppage time goal.
Yep.
It was already over, but then just to make it 5-3 and put a nail in it. So, and shortly after that, Tony, why don't you?
Mason Toy, I think he was trying to put the ball down to get play started.
That's
again.
what he was.
It was instigate. There's instigation.
The Dallas player was sitting right in front of him. There was a tussle. Mason spit at him.
Yeah.
And got a little pissed off.
And I didn't see until so what it looked like to me, without seeing the replays, was that he was doing exactly what you said, and he was I thought he was basically shoving the player, and that's initially what I thought they were giving a card for.
Yeah.
And I was like,
No, then he supposedly spit at him.
And he did.
He did.
Yeah.
There's a video of the Looney on the jersey, which is
and you could see the
disturbing.
immediate reaction from Darwin Quintero.
Yep.
And I think I forget who else was out there, maybe alone, but certainly Darwin.
Yeah, I
you
think
could
it's
see
Olin,
him turn around and get really mad at Toy because he obviously saw it.
So Toy gets the red card.
Yep.
Which is not good.
Nope.
Because we're going to the next game. Is against Colorado
at home.
Yep.
At home, and now we're down a forward.
And not surprisingly,
short time frame.
Yep.
So the red card obviously was suspended him for the Colorado match, but not surprisingly, just a couple days later, MLS extended the suspension to 2 games, which is not unprecedented.
Yeah.
That's I think a similar thing happened a year ago, and So yeah, that he's out 2 games now,
Yep.
which hurts
So-
your options, especially if you within a busy schedule you can't put it all on Angelo Rodriguez. So we're gonna have to see more of Dunladi going forward, and maybe even more of Don Lottie because of Angelo Rodriguez's potential injury, which we'll get to.
So we lose this game.